And who's taking
Y'all?
Vera?
I suppose I can do Dylan.
I can take Vera. I'll have
Okay.
to log back in as GM, but I can take Vera for now anyway.
Yeah.
Right. I think we're set, Parker.
All right. I know we kind of did a text recap, but let's do a real quick recap so I can finish setting up a character sheet.
Because we're gonna fist fight God. This is fine.
Yay!
We've had worse ideas.
Although technically she isn't a god. In Taldore, she is not a god.
She's a lesser god.
Shh, it's fine. Keep moving.
So we get back from unplugging the river. After Cheval got royally fucking pissed off at us for unplugging the river. But didn't attack us while we were on our way back to Epoli. We start doing distribution of, thinking we are doing distribution of the massive fucking amount of crab meat we got. Then Egre is acting slightly off, and that kind of makes Diana go, wait a minute, something's up. Goes to talk to Linsa. Is that the name I want?
Yeah, Linsa.
Linsa. Who proceeds to yoink everyone who is not Vera and Lena, into the decrepit part of town where there's absolutely no one around.
The west side.
And then, there's a bit of a conversation about, hey, this is weird, really weird, before Vias goes, maybe it's an illusion, and everything so snaps back into place. There is a bit of an ensuing panic of telling Linsa and the twins to get their party just in case, because it's possible that by breaking the illusion, we've gotten something's attention. That ends up happening. We end up filling in Lena and Vera. We head up towards Central. The other party goes to check out the temple.
Yep.
And we go to the palace. Basically prepared for something to try and kick the shit out of us. We get there. The queen knows we know and seems melancholy about it. Some conversation happens where we find out, particularly about Cheval's motivations, and we find out some more about what Epoli used to be, and it's. And partway through, the king shows up, very surprised that we're here. Because that's also a plot point we yeeted past, was actually
meeting him
him properly.
But he's an old man. Even though he acts like a youngin'.
Yeah. Ends up going off, and the queen ends up explaining that he is the last survivor of Epoli, and he is what she's keeping this alive for. She also ends up explaining that we weren't supposed to make it to the city, we were supposed to get fucking murdered, so that, our souls or whatever could fuel her for a bit longer. So.
Rude.
Okay, bye! Drive safe!
Oh, I thought you were talking about the queen.
No.
Yep, same.
I'm sorry, Dad is leaving for the weekend, so.
That would be kind of hilarious.
Okay, bye, queen!
So, there is a consensus to... So she basically tells us if we try to cause harm to him or try to tell him, she will take action.
Vias was not pleased that everybody said that we should leave them be.
The thing is, I do need you to understand Diana's logic, though.
Well, Vias understands, he just wasn't pleased about it. He made that clear to you all.
Yeah. Diana actually wasn't pleased about it either. But her decision-making capacity was slightly impeded due to Talia is panicking. This is all fake. I don't know. As evidenced by the fact that she didn't think about the dragon problem.
Also, by the way, you have a talking dog.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
We have our what's his name? It starts with an M. What is it?
Morgan.
Morgan. There we go. That's
because
a good one.
I figured I might as well lean into the omen thing.
Yeah.
We have a talking dog.
Yes, we do. It's
Yeah,
an,
we have
it's
a
an
talking
onyx
dog
statue
because-
dog thing.
I mean, let's face it, this is the least weird shit that's happened the last few sessions.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
You are very true.
we now have a menagerie.
Yay!
We have a dog, a cat, some birds,
A
dog,
horse?
a horse, a donkey, because that's Vera's.
Uh-huh.
I always forget Vera has a donkey.
Yes.
I assume we left Lucifer and whatever the
Yeah.
donkey's name are.
We didn't take them into the jungle. We left them at the end.
No, I'm pretty sure we left them, yeah.
Yeah.
It was too hard for them
Good,
to
because
travel.
that'd be a time.
Yeah. Goodbye, friends. You lasted several episodes.
Max never made it to Epoli, but there is the high chance that Max is still alive. Yeah, we found out that Cheval used to be the willing protector of Epoli, and then people got capitalistic and greedy and decided to basically enslave her, and she went, bitch, what the fuck?
Bitch, you thought.
Yeah. Then we actually ran into her while we were trying to nope the fuck out of there. Diana went, shit, right, dragon. I had been hoping we could avoid this and tried to smooth talk our way out of it. Basically did manage to get that if we give her the king's crown, she will let us leave, and she will leave Casberg the fuck alone. She does not give a shit about Casberg. This is fine. We don't need her to give a shit about Casberg.
Yep. We just want to leave.
Yeah.
Good,
Yep.
we're cowards. And fuck a dying city. We only came to stop the river thing, and that really wasn't,
And to try and find Max.
Yes. I mean, that was the biggest thing, but... Sorry, Max.
I, out of character, know where, but Devin has no reason to put that together.
We'll figure it out.
So, we basically... Yeah, Cheval tells us she will let us leave if we bring her the crown of the king. Diana runs some odds and goes, considering the condition this dragon left us in the first time we tangled with her,
Yep.
Those are some
I
bad
would rather
rolls.
take my chances with a weakened entity that has already had the other guys trying to take chunks out of it. Which, you did get that in the text recap, but we ran into the other party as we were trying to leave, tried to just, there's nothing worth it, got called on the bullshit, ended up explaining. Got called cowards, which, fair. And then Bixby was a little bitch.
Bixby did want to, before the illusion dropped, he wanted to take over. He was trying to usurp.
Yeah, because he's a dumb motherfucker.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so he ran up in there because he was pissed off and wanted.
He deserves to be dead.
Yeah.
We
couldn't
Y'all
stop
don't
him
know the
'cause he had
half
passed
of it,
without a trace.
because in his original canon, he treats Epoli as a consolation prize.
Lovely.
Rude.
That whole plot line is not canon for this game.
So Vias and Susanna were right in hating him.
Yep.
Good. We're great judges of character.
Diana was really not thrilled with him either.
Oh, come on. He's a charmer.
Oh, fuck that guy.
Is he though?
Even his teammates had enough of his bullshit.
So now we're heading back in the hopes of running into the king before we run into the goddess. But we're probably going to run into the goddess first, and we're going to have to.
Yep. Okay, cool.
But also, again, Bixby's party picked a fight with the goddess because that was one of the last things we saw as we were leaving was a magic light show from inside the palace.
Yep.
So the hope is that that party will have managed to take a couple of chunks out of her, and we can mop up the pieces if we need to.
But we're not holding our breaths.
Nope.
It was
Cool.
either that or try and fight the dragon, which did definitely nearly kill us.
No, that's going to be bad.
So you can understand why Donna made the call she did. It was a flawed call, or flawed judgment, but I never said she was smart.
I mean, Vias's
And I don't know why y'all let her lead.
Vias's thought was like, okay, this guy has been living a lie his entire life because this one goddess doesn't want her last surviving worshipper to die, and she's been using the souls of poor people who were lured to the city against their will so that their souls could make him actually live the illusion of peace. So that's not right in his eyes. So he's like, I would rather rip this rug from underneath this old man or do something to end this and have the god disappear. Because once he's dead, there's no one else to worship her, so...
Yeah. The only
It's
reason
not
Diana
his
made
fault.
the call
I feel bad. I wish we could save him, but, you know, this is the most direct path sometimes. It makes sense.
And it is very much one of those few versus the many.
Yeah, or like the train problem where it's like you run over one doctor, but you save 5 people. You choose one or the other, and someone else dies anyways.
Okay. So.
Honestly, the trolley problem is fucking stupid. But anyway.
Yes, it is. It's a dumb. Oh, go ahead.
The ruins of Epoli stretch out before you, and you can see the palace at the end of the street. You know exactly how to get there, and the window that you saw what looked like at least magic being thrown around is now quiet. There are no more lights from it. The city is silent save for the whistle of wind and the rustle of all of the overgrown plant life around you. And the crumbling buildings offer no sense of respite or safety. What do you do?
Perception check. Is there anything kind of close to us that looks vaguely threatening?
Roll a perception check.
Yep.
Yeah.
Vias will have Mercy kind of fly forward for us, I think, to do some reconnaissance.
Yeah.
And
I think Diana's going to ask Morgan to scent for anything coming towards us.
Morgan will happily do that.
Because I'm kind of going with, well, she's the one who suggested the name, so I guess that's her problem.
23.
Only a 12, Lena.
Mercy scoots ahead, flying a good 10, 20 feet ahead. But as far as she can tell, there is nothing. No danger, no sign of life. There's a couple of, like, small rats and vermin and, like, groups of small animals that have made the ruins their home, but there is nothing of danger.
Alright. Well, she'll just stay ahead. Vias is still in his direwolf form.
Dona's kind of gonna reach up and sort of pat Talia on the side and tells, I know it's bad, but we're gonna need you for this.
They
I know
nod.
it's bad.
Hmm?
Just the repeating of, I know it's bad, and you can, once we are out of this, you can do whatever you need to, but we need you for this.
They nod, and
Vias will push his furry little snoot at you.
they nod, and they just, you see them take this very like deep breath, and then they're still like obviously upset, but they're like holding themselves together at this point.
Yep. And as soon as this is over with, we can den up somewhere and
Panic.
but
We'll work
right
on
now.
that.
And Donut hates to ask Talia to do that. It's much better to let these things run their course. But also,
Mm-hmm.
We're not in safety.
no.
Vias will lope ahead, I guess, since he's
Yeah.
feeling better as a dog. Him big
Yeah,
and
I
furry.
guess Donut's gonna take point. Probably very in the middle of the pack. Susanna's obviously at the back because Susanna's always at the back.
Yep. Dylan somewhere in the middle, I would hope.
Yeah.
Diana also slides off of your
Yeah.
shoulders and starts walking next to you.
Yeah. Okay. I hate this. And she's just gonna continue forward.
You just hear Vias in front huff in agreement.
So we've basically, what I sort of have in my mind's eye is we've got Vias leading the front of the direwolf, Dana, Talia, Lena probably behind them, Vera, Dylan, and then probably Zola and Susanna in the back.
I think that sounds decent.
Yeah.
Okay.
That seems to work the best for our party, I think. So far.
So yeah. Forward we go, I guess.
Okay. The city is desolate as it is. This is usual for you now. It still seems a little bit strange. I mean, that there is nothing. What you had once seen as this beautiful and bustling city is now completely dead. There is nothing. As you get close to the palace, though, and the crumbling walls around the palace stand there, you see there is a figure on the road, sort of collapsed in a heap next to the gate. And as you get closer, it is Nurendin, the dwarven fighter from Bixby's party, and he does not look like he's moving.
Oh boy.
Okay. I mean,
Dana's gonna check to see if he's alive, but
Make a. You know what? No, you can tell he's gone.
he's fucking dead.
Oh,
He's gone.
sucks to be him. Oops.
This is not good.
Yeah, that's the way to put it.
Bias kind of makes like a soft whine and like nudges him with his nose. Ears are down a little bit.
I mean, we could. Do we have the items to revive him, or
No.
do we
don't
want
think.
to keep a hold of that for later if we do?
I think he's been dead for too long.
Bias nods.
Okay, I mean, it would make sense as well to keep hold of them till later in case.
We need to look after us first.
Yeah, I agree.
Everything else we can figure out, but we need to look after ourselves first. We don't do anyone any good by...
Yeah, agreed. Okay.
Bias will
Berna is going to take a moment and she's gonna sort of pause and make sure that his weapon is in his hand.
It is.
Yeah. And she seems relieved at that and just...
Bias will continue forward.
Yeah.
As you get closer to the
He doesn't know if there's any grounding in the superstition about keeping the weapon in your hand when you die, but
I'd rather die with a
there's
weapon
enough
in my
wandering
hand.
souls around this place. Okay. She is gonna take the chance to sort of steel her resolve and ready for what's coming.
Okay.
Bias just going for it.
So basically, I'm taking the chance to brace now rather than when we get in the fight.
That's fair. And probably intelligent.
I'm capable of that sometimes.
You are very capable of it. Do not say that.
You are definitely the smarter one of us. At least of me. I don't have that chance, my friend. I just have my wild shapes.
I am just dog.
Okay.
I just dog.
You are just a big dog. You cannot change this right now.
Yep. He's going to stay that way until he gets knocked out of it, and then he's going to do it again. Disposable hit points.
Just keep in mind, you are half an hour in at this point.
Yeah, he's got an hour.
Yep, but I just wanted to make sure you were aware that it has been half an hour.
Yeah. I got it.
Possibly slightly more, but anyway.
As you get closer to the palace, you can see the broken window on the second story floor that wasn't broken earlier, and you can make a pretty good guess as to where Narendran
how it
came
got
from.
broken.
Yeah.
Can Mercy fly to that window?
She certainly can.
Can she try? Okay, I guess that wouldn't be a good idea to try and have her stealth to do that.
I mean,
She's
roll
a
a stealth check.
She's a big white bird.
Yeah.
Roll a stealth check.
Come on. I hate when I click on these. Sometimes it doesn't. Let's see. Stealth. That's a 10. That's not the best, but whatever.
She gets up to the window and she sort of peers inside, and this looks like to be like a slightly alternate window to the same throne room you were in earlier, and you see she can see two figures, one of which is like they're both standing sort of in the upper center of the room. Looks like the king and queen themselves, who are the queen is sort of leaning on this staff, and breathing sort of hard, and the king has like his hands on her cheeks, and it looks like they're sharing kind of a moment.
Gotcha. Are they the only ones in that room?
There appears to be a couple of scattered lumped forms.
Can Mercy attempt to fly to one of them?
As Mercy heads into the room, you only rolled a 10. I'm so sorry. The queen's head sort of snaps up and towards you, and there's a moment, and she towards Mercy, and you can just see in her eyes, like, there is just this look of warning, I would say.
Well, if she's getting a second chance, Mercy's getting the fuck out of there. Bye. She's going right back out the window.
And I take it when she gets to us, she tells us in Vias's voice what she saw?
Yep. Okay,
Great.
so Mercy said that there's like two figures there, the king and queen. The rest of their party is like knocked out. They might be dead. I don't know. I could not tell.
I think it might be best to assume.
Yeah.
Poor bastards.
Well, nothing forward but to continue on. And you said she looked hurt, right?
Yeah, she was having troubles.
Oh, good. She can be hurt.
Well, that's something, I suppose.
Unfortunately, I think she knows we're coming now, so that's my fault.
That's okay.
She was going to find out sooner or later.
Yeah. We aren't exactly the most subtle. Well,
I'd take offense, but accurate.
We're pretty colorful.
Oh, okay.
and I think Diana just kind of, before we cross whatever, for what it's worth, I'm glad. I'm glad whatever fate's out there dragged us together for a while.
Oh, Diana, don't you dare talk as if we're going to die.
We're not going to die here. That's not going to happen. There's lots of
You are
things to live
not
for.
allowed to die. No one is allowed to die. Not today.
Okay.
Vias and Mercy nod in unison.
Okay, so this is going to be painful. That too. Well, whatever, you know. Fuck it. Let's go fight a demigod. That's do we have tactics? Tactics would be good. Other than, you know, don't die.
Honestly, if we can, probably try and kill the king.
Yeah.
That's our best bet of taking them all out.
Okay.
Easier target, and that might cripple her enough to
at least buy as a distraction. Yeah.
I mean, if I can work my way there, I can be a bad guy for this.
I have no problems with killing him if it means saving everyone else.
Okay.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay. Let's go. Vias will lead the way, I guess.
I feel like we do not have enough members of the group here for this.
Yeah, I feel like we're having to
We're
yank too many people full.
I am very stressed.
I mean, we should have 2 more joining us at some point.
Yes. Very hopeful.
Okay.
I'm also kind of flapping along the lines of, oh my god, this is a very big fight.
No. It's one baddie. We can do this.
All right.
Okay, but before that happens, since apparently Vera has not actually been healed much after the debacle with the, I think she's gonna pump a third level healing. Into
Oh,
herself.
have we not rested?
No.
Nope.
Okay.
This has all been within the one day.
I'm
Shit.
very
Do we
glad Vias didn't.
Do we not want to take like a short rest or something?
Oh, we could. Then Vias would get all his wild shapes back.
We've done a short rest. We've done a short
shit.
rest.
Oh, wait,
Okay,
yeah,
so
that's
no more
right.
short rest.
We just haven't done a.
Okay, because yeah, I've just noticed that Lena is like at half hit points as well.
Yeah, so we did a short rest. So I'll actually roll hit dice for Vera as well because, and with your hit dice, add an extra +1 too.
Okay, so are we rolling hit dice then? That's cool. That's fine.
I assume like we're able to retroactively do for the short rest.
Yeah, because I don't think we
for
were
it.
able to
Did
do
take
it
one.
for you last
Okay.
time we played.
So
Because we
one,
weren't really doing much for combat last week.
4.
that's 39.
10, 12.
Okay.
Oh, fuck it. I might well blow another one. Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Lena up
If
to
we
full
walk
hit
out of
points.
this, you can sleep it off.
Exactly. Okay.
The only other thing I'm gonna check, Parker, I was looking at that.
What? What did I do?
Okay.
Wait. Oh, sorry. It's Amy who's running Vera.
Yes.
I don't know why I had.
It's fine. Go for it. Sorry.
I was like, what did I do? I've been populating a map.
I think it might be worth her also pumping protection from poison on someone. I'm not sure who, but
Okie doke.
or
Does
maybe pumping an aid into the 3.
Aid might be a better idea, but isn't that like a
Well,
short burst spell?
if Vera were to drop, whoops daisy, if Vera were to drop aid, Lena, I believe, can drop protection from poison.
Okay,
is aid
because
like
that
a
means
minute
that
long?
one
So-
person is.
Yeah, Lena can drop protection from poison. I do have it prepped.
How
Okay,
long
so-
is the duration of aid? Is that a minute?
I think it's
Yeah.
actually 8
Or
hours.
is it 8 hours?
8 hours.
Oh wow.
Up
And
to
that's
3 creatures you
temporary hit
choose have their current and maximum hit points increased by 5 while the spell lasts.
Oh nice. And is that that's
To
not
be
concentration?
honest, well, to be honest, oh no, she's only
It's
got
not
one
concentration.
left.
Okay.
Never mind. I didn't mean to click that onto there. Thank you.
I don't know if the poison thing would matter though, because I don't think the queen has that. The dragon
The
does.
queen is still Yonti-ish.
Oh, true. You're right.
I would say if anyone's going to have protection from poison, it's either Lena, Vera, or Diona to go for the 2 tanks and the main healer.
Yeah.
I think Diona might be a good. Well, how high is Diona's constitution? Hers is pretty high, isn't it?
Diona's got a +6 con saves, and I can't believe we're doing this.
Yeah, maybe one of the clerics, or not clerics, but I guess cleric and paladin.
Oh, well, in that
One
case,
you-
then Lena's going to drop it on Vera.
Okay.
Yep. Keeping Vera alive is our highest priority.
No
I'm
character
writing
deaths.
Because
down.
Vera
No
can.
characters here.
So let me mark that down. Drop a spell.
And yeah.
Why can't I mark that down? Ow.
I think doing aid might be a very good idea to keep.
Agreed.
Because while 5 hit points isn't much,
And I
it
would.
does increase the buffer zone before instant fucking death.
Yeah, and I would drop it at 3rd level and give it to everyone, but she's only got 1 3rd level spell left, and I prefer to hold
And
on
we
that
need
for
that
a
for
mass healing
Revivify just
word.
in case.
And also
Yeah,
mass
we need
healing
that
word.
for the mass healing word or Revivify.
Vias
So
only has
if-
33 hit points as a note, so
So aid is for 3 creatures. So if I was doing it, I'd be dropping it on
Well,
Talia.
you're controlling Vera right now. So.
Yeah, I know. I'd be dropping it on Talia as an absolute.
oh god.
Also,
Susanna didn't
'cause
roll
Talia
any hit
has the
dice
health
either.
potions.
What the heck?
I know, but
Parker?
Talia's the
PK.
punchy one
Sorry,
who does all the
Parker.
damage.
Yeah, but Talia also is the zoomy one who has health potions if needed.
True.
So...
Okay. Well, in that case, then via Susanna and Dylan to get the extra 5.
No, Talia getting it to keep them alive is...
Okay.
I was in agreement about Talia.
All right. Sorry. Yeah. So
Sorry.
Talia, Susanna, and if Vias is going to be wild shaping, then possibly Vias. But then the wild shape does give him a buffer.
It does, but it
Yeah, the
also
wild
takes
shape gives him a
bonus
quite
action.
significant buffer.
He only has, after this one more wild shape, so... And he won't be able to do spells in wild
It's
shape.
okay because Sarah is here and Sarah can make the decision and I don't have to.
What?
Also, Joe...
Hey,
do
we're
you-
not
Hi.
fighting a demigod. So,
Yeah, I remember that, but
We're making bad decisions. Come save us.
You're
But
right.
what decision
we're
do I have to
trying
make?
to we're trying to figure out who Vera would put aid on as a buffer to keep us from...
Oh, okay. Let's see.
Gunslinger hit dice, how much is that? Because our PK...
D10.
or PK did not, add hit...
Remind me what aid does.
It's,
Aid buffs the max and current hit points of 3 creatures by 5.
All right.
And what was
Uh,
the
My
hit
thought
dice?
is basically it broadens the range before insta fucking death.
Yeah.
God, we're all gonna die.
Yeah. Who has the lowest hit points? I feel like that
That's
would be Vera's priority.
Oh, hit dice is 10, okay. So...
That's probably...
Um,
I suspect it might be Zoella and Vias.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
it is.
What about Dylan?
Yeah, I think it might be Zoella, Vias, and Dylan. Because that...
Yeah,
But
it
Dylan
is.
has wild shape, you were saying.
Yeah,
Vias
Vias does
does,
Yeah,
have
Vias
wild
does
shape,
have
but
wild
his-
shape, so that
his-
is a...
Yeah. So
Alright,
technically
sorry. So
he
you're
should
probably
be
not getting.
okay.
Yeah, so that's. So it will probably.
My
so Zoella
thought
and...
was Talia as well, because Talia also has several
Yes.
healing potions. So Talia, if necessary, can yeet around and heal people up.
And Talia is always up in there. So yeah, I'll say Talia, Vias, or not Vias, Dylan, and Zoella. I
Sounds
get
Okay.
3, right? Let me see.
And I upped Susanna's HP because she did not have her hit dice used yet.
She did not get the bonus for... She did not get the extra +1 to
Well, that's fine.
healing because she... Yep, but I just wanted to make sure we were all on the same page.
Yeah, I only added her Constitution modifier because that's what you
We
do.
are trying to be smart.
Yeah.
We might
trying to
not
be
succeed,
smart.
but we are trying.
Well,
Are green
Okay.
dragons? No, that's black dragons. Never mind. I also have.
And this
protection
isn't
from...
the dragon we're fighting. This is...
Right, but I'm saying just in case.
in
I
case
have
show up.
protection from energy as well. Let me make sure that 8 isn't
But
concentration.
also, if you use that, you will not have Revivify or Mass Healing Word.
Oh, do I only? Oh, shit! I only have 1. Yeah.
Yeah.
In that case,
Yeah.
no.
You
Alright.
also have protection from poison, courtesy of Lena.
Okay.
Because we went, Yonti Goddess, probably a good idea to keep our primary healer.
Up.
And I also have protection from poison, just in general.
Yeah.
So that will probably get used. I have some other shit that I can maybe
Yeah.
Shield of Faith.
We got
yeah, I
this.
can just. We're
We just have to kill
fine.
one
This
old
is
man.
fine. This is great. It's gonna be
We're all gonna
fine.
die.
We are awful.
I'm gonna die.
We're turning into Vox Machina and we're killing the elderly.
Are we ready to go?
Yes, we are, I believe.
I think so. Not gonna lie, Diana would appreciate Shield of Faith, but I'm not gonna try and push you.
I think that might be a in battle. Okay, it's up to 10 minutes, so it's a bonus action when we start. I'll toss it your way.
Okay,
Yum.
let's go.
All right.
Oh, God.
Yippee!
We who are about to die salute you.
Hell yeah! Let's
It's
do
fine.
this
And
shit.
hey, if we don't die, it'll be a pleasant surprise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is fine.
Okay,
Higher
so
than our hopes.
repeat. I had a small issue on audio on my end. Repeat what spells have been cast before walking in here.
There is protection from poison. Aid is up on Talia, Zoella, and Dylan. So that's an
Okay.
extra 5 hit points to the maximum for all 3 of those. Protection from poison is on Vera, and Vera's first turn is going to be Shield of Faith on Diona.
Oh, if we're walking in now, I might as well do it. Like we're
Okay.
going.
Yeah, this is
Okay, you have +2 to your AC then.
okay.
Let me see.
Cool. This is great. This is
It
now. Is that
no
concentration?
so it can't go down.
Fantastic.
Lovely. We just
That
Oh,
is
it
one
is
of the best
concentration,
things you could have
sorry.
said at this moment.
Sorry, it is concentration, so I will just have to remember not to cast any concentration spells.
Yeah. Okay.
Mercy will remind you. She'll just scream.
We're at level 6 and we're taking on a god.
Hell yeah!
Not actually a
fine.
god.
Well, almost a god.
You're
It's
fine. We're fine.
Semi
gonna be
demigod.
So, you walk into the ruined, crumbling palace, and it's. Are you going straight for the throne room, or what's up?
Well, that's
I-
where the king is at the moment.
Yeah, I think we should.
Um.
Can we keep our eyes peeled for surprise attacks?
Yeah, I think I think having Vias in front of us doing scenting and Morgan as well.
This.
Oh, by the way, there's a talking dog now.
Yes.
Yes, we have a talking dog. This is fine. This is honestly the least weird thing that has happened over the course of the.
Yep.
Okay. You said the two of them ahead, and they hit the throne room first, like last time.
There would
Inside.
have kind of been to Morgan. There would have been the order to not go beyond the threshold.
Okay.
Vias is Vias. Vias makes his own decisions, but
I mean, Vias would wait for you guys, kinda, so he's not going in alone into
Yeah.
a trap, so.
I hate this. I hate this. I hate this.
Well.
Okay.
Well,
No use standing around, let's go.
I'd give
Yeah.
a rousing speech, but we're probably all dead. So
I mean, living's
my job is just
overrated.
to keep you up.
Hey, at least if we walk out of this, it'll be a pleasant surprise.
It'll be a great story, that's for sure.
If you keep us up, I'll buy everybody a drink. Aside from Dylan, because obviously he doesn't want one. But
Oh,
I'll
we
get
we
you
make it
some
out of this.
milk.
I will take you up on that drink.
I'll break
Alright.
out the best whiskey if we make it out of this.
Please. Against all
Alright,
odds.
Okay.
folks. You head into Morgan and Mercy going first. But Morgan stops at the broken, rotted and wood and metal doors that are now propped open, and on the inside, just down the center of the room, stand the monarchs of Epoli, which, for those of you in DM mode, is the second map currently labeled untitled, but will be named something else in a second.
Yep. It occurs. Did anyone insight check the dog?
No, I didn't think to insight check the dog.
The magic dog.
Anywho.
Okay, Gareth.
Sorry.
I assume the one on the left is the
one where the players are. Yeah.
No, I assume this one on the left is the king.
Yes. This boy's the king. This lady is the queen. Because what's consistent art styles?
Right.
Eh.
And what are these? These.
Oh,
dead people, I assume.
Okay.
Crumpled forms of Bixby's party.
gotta get on the
I did not
correct
need to
one.
do that.
There we go.
Oh. I had a moment of panic going, there's another one, it's really big.
No, I was just going to put Talia down here.
Okay, let's arrange ourselves on the map as we would be.
Mhm.
Okay. I hate this.
I guess I'm playing Susanna for right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. To be fair, you know what Susanna's first turn's going to be. Susanna's first turn is going to be trying to put as many bullets as she can manage into the king's head.
Yep. He's going down, and she's yelling goodbye.
Okay, that's Vera. I need to put Zoella on.
And Dylan. I'll pop Dylan on.
Bless.
Now, who's controlling Dylan?
Oh boy, we didn't decide this.
Sarah, do you mind?
I guess I can. I don't think I've ever done a warlock before, but this will be fun.
Dylan's moderately simple because he plays mostly like a cleric.
Okay, cool. Let me just...
And he only has 2 spell slots, so...
Right. I'll have to keep that in mind.
Eldritch Blast, everything.
Yet.
No, we got a short rest. So
Okay, great.
he's got his back.
Yep.
Okay. Let's rock and roll, I guess.
As you appear in the doorway, both monarchs sort of look up at you, and the queen's eyes sort of glint. But the king takes sort of a step forward, and he says, "Oh, did you come to help? We're fine. We took care of it."
Bias is going to step to the right. And just kind of circle, I guess. Because he can't say anything as a dog.
Is everything all right? At this point, the queen sort of steps forward and bodily puts herself between her and the king. Between you and the king.
We had another encounter with Cheval.
Oh, the queen says.
She told us that she couldn't allow anyone to enter or leave Epoli.
Well, of course you're welcome here, she says. And the king he's looking more confused now as he watches, Vaya starts to pace. And he's just what's going on?
Do you mean welcome here, or do you mean welcome in the ruins of Epoli in general?
She stiffens. And the king is like, what?
Mercy is going
Your
to
Highness,
take the other side here.
Take a look around you.
You go to say
Everything.
that, and you see now the queen has sort of flicked her hand out, and as you go to speak, there is no sound from your mouth.
From Mercy.
So all of us have been silenced?
Presumably.
Or just Diona? Except if Mercy managed to make it into the room, she has not been silenced.
Mm-hmm.
And she can speak through Vias's voice.
She has not, no.
Vias's voice will ring out then. She's been
Okay,
playing
what
with
does...
an illusion.
The queen, as she hears that sound start, she starts to lurch towards Mercy, but she's not fast enough. And when the word illusion exits her mouth, she stops and she spins and she looks back at the king, who is just, you see him blink, and he just kind of looks around. And then he looks down at his hands. And there is just, there is less confusion on his face than you think there would be. And as the queen rushes to his side, he just smiles. Um, and she is sort of reaching down to try to like hold him steady. Um, her attention is not on you in any form of the word. Um, she actually looks very concerned, but he just kind of, he smiles again and just, oh, did you really think I didn't know? And the queen now looks taken aback and horrified. And the king just sort of smiles again and looks over at all of you and just, I mean, I suppose it had to end sometime.
Well, point of order, we actually cannot hear him while the silence is up, so unless she dropped it.
She would have dropped it in her rush to his side. So.
Yeah.
You knew and you carried on with this anyway.
And the queen sort of, like, she is sort of completely just, and he sort of takes her hand and just,
yeah, Lena's taken a step forward. You knew and you did this anyway.
It made
People
her
were
happy.
dying.
I know.
People died to keep you alive. This ruse.
You knew and you did this anyway.
You see how happy she looked?
Yeah, okay, fuck that. Are we attacking now?
Susanna has her guns aimed at him.
He sort of holds both hands up and just, like, now in like a surrender pose, and she's like, and the queen goes, no, 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 and she jumps in front of him. Now.
Epoli needs to stop. You can't keep dragging people here to keep this going.
You can't tell me what to. And as she starts to speak, the king sort of just reaches out and puts one old hand on her shoulder and just goes, no, they're right. You know they're right, my lady. And she turns around, and there's just a moment, and you can't really see what's going on between them here. But it's just quiet for a second. And you see now that there are tears running down his face. I'm sorry. time for you to go. There is no more Epoli. And you see her go, wait! But it is too late for her. And you see almost her form sort of collapse into golden smoke that trails and spills and disintegrates into the air. And now the king is just standing there, this old man.
Oh,
Vias
I
will
think
approach as a
Diana's
dire
gonna-
wolf.
yeah. Diana's also going to step forward, and that very
He's
Yeah,
just
Lena
gonna.
too.
held openly, clearly not planning to attack, and just
Vias
Yeah,
is just
Lena's
gonna
not
do
being so
that
nice.
that Vias is just gonna do that dog thing where you like nudge them with their nose, you know? He
yeah.
kind of feels bad, but that was the right thing to do.
Absolutely.
Do you want to see? Do you want to see the descendants of Epoli?
He looks at you. You're not gonna kill me.
Cheval told us we needed to bring your crown to her to secure our passage out.
She never said you couldn't be alive.
And there are plenty of people, I think, who'd like to see justice done.
He nods. I suppose I don't have any authority anyway.
And we
I never did.
cannot promise you protection from Cheval. If she decides to take her debt, if she decides to take the debt she is owed in your blood, frankly, I think that's her right.
That's fine. And he sort of reaches up and pulls the crown, which is this twisted and tarnished metal off of his head, and he just kind of laughs as he looks at it. Then he hands it over to you.
Yeah. I don't know if you'd know, but do you happen to remember what they used to keep Cheval here?
He stops and he thinks. This was a long time ago. What records I have says something about a rune tablet. I think they put it in her shoulder.
In the dragon's shoulder.
Yep.
Marvelous.
Would removing it do anything?
He shrugs. I don't know much about the arcane ways.
Where are these records?
I can show you. And he turns around, and now he takes a step, and he sort of stumbles a little bit.
Vias is there, by the way. He's
Yeah,
I
I
am
think
pretty
Diana's
old, aren't
gonna-
I?
I think Diana's going to step and sort of offer to try and support him.
He takes it, and you can feel he's weak. He just. I guess I am old, aren't I?
Yeah.
I think I must be 80.
I wouldn't know.
And he sort of leads the way into a off the throne room and through sort of some of the decrepit and decaying hallways until you find what must have once been a library. And he sort of there and he sort of leads you back through it to, like, most of what's here is old and eaten away and just they're like dust more than paper. But there is a section that is he has to fish a key out of his pocket and open up sort of a door built into the wall, because that's the only way doors are. And inside you see shelves that are sort of protected with like carefully fitted glass. You can tell this is like the protected place.
Yeah.
The restricted section.
Yeah. And he sort of directs you to a couple of the drawers and tells you what to pull out. And there are you see a lot of like again, it's not quite in a language you understand.
Dylan has comprehend languages.
He does.
There. But you can
I'm sorry.
you can recognize I wasn't finished, but thank you. You can recognize a lot of like there's like rune patterns and like prototypes of like similar but like slightly different sets of runes across pages, and then there is what looks like a blueprint for a small stone tablet with like a final set of runes on it. And then there is a couple of diagrams that are just sort of like dragon anatomy. And then there are a sheaf of records, written records that are in this language you don't understand. And if Dylan is going to cast comprehend languages,
He should.
uh,
Playing Dylan though. I think he can ritual cast it, right? I don't remember.
Yeah. he can't. Dylan would be able to sort of read through these papers, and a lot of the written notes are like reports of an assault on the dragon that they managed to get the thing inside of her, but it took a lot of lives to get it done.
Cringy.
Did the dragon mention anything about this when you were
Nope.
talking to her?
Nope.
Right.
The king now has sort of sat himself down in the remains of a chair.
Yeah.
And you see now he has like these robes that are just hanging off of his form. He looks a lot hungrier and a lot more emaciated than you thought he should be. Like his flesh is sunken in places.
Not surprising. If her magic is what was keeping him alive.
And he sort of raises one hand and points to a bottom drawer and goes, "There too."
Lena at that point is probably going to ask Zoella to have a look at it to make sure it's not a trap or something.
Yeah, I think Zoella will.
Sure, roll an investigation.
Oh.
Congrats! Y'all skipped combat.
Thank fuck for that.
Yeah.
Zoella thinks it's safe.
Yeah. She's gonna. And I think Diana is gonna. I think Diana's actually gonna, because I think she does still have some rations, because she prefers not to use them. I think she is going to offer one of the small bundles of rations to the king and just. Looks like you need it.
He smiles again and takes it. I appreciate it. And he just kind of slowly starts to chew on it.
Yeah. Yeah, Zola's gonna open the drawer that was. Indicated.
Inside, there is a small box. It's sort of innately carved, but it's also tarnished with time. And as you pull it out, he goes, "The old noble signet rings. They're yours if you want them."
Signet rings? Is that what he said?
Signet rings, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
the old noble.
Do demand if you do. No, I'm kidding.
And as Zoella sort of pops the box open, there are 9 rings inside.
Are you saying that Zoella wouldn't all grab them immediately?
Yeah, she immediately is like, shiny, pretty.
Mine.
There are 9 of them, and the king goes, "There used to be 9 families. I think, supposedly. I don't. They're worth something, I'm sure."
We'll figure out a good home for them.
He smiles, and
Do
then
there seem
continues.
to be any particular crests on these rings?
They are all sort of similar patterns. Like they all have this like sort of same overarching like imagery motif, like what looks like sort of the symbol of Epoli, but then there are slight detail changes. There is a section of the crest that is where a small animal is, and one of them is a snake, one of them is a rabbit, one of them is a crow, one or like a bird. One of them is what looks like a jungle cat. So they're all separated by that.
Interesting.
But all 9 of them are there.
I suppose we should take them.
Yeah.
For safekeeping.
Vera, is there the possibility that with these notes you two could maybe help get that out of Cheval if she were to agree?
I mean, I could try. I'm
certainly try.
I'm practiced in arcane, but if she'll let us get close at all, I think the only time we'd be able to do it is if we handed over the crown.
What was done to her isn't right.
No, it's not.
And I want to try and right that wrong if we can. As best we are able.
As long as it doesn't come back to bite us in the ass.
It might. But I mean, having a green dragon owe you a favor might not be a bad thing.
Well,
maybe it'll give her a good reason not to block the river again.
Maybe. Remember, the only reason she blocked the river was to try and
kill me.
Epoli off. Yes.
I've never met her, you know.
Can't imagine why that might be.
Hi, kitten.
I can't promise she will be. She might decide to take the debt that Epoli owes her in your blood.
I know. Sad.
I know, but I want to make sure you understand that.
that if she does that, we're not going to step in to stop her.
It's fine.
All right.
Probably can't defend myself anymore anyway. He sort of looks down at his hand. You see him sort of breathe, and he mutters something to himself, and looks at his hands expectantly, and nothing happens.
Well, I hope it doesn't come to that.
Can I make an insight check to see if he's lying to us, obviously, about any of what he's saying?
Roll an insight.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. I would like to roll. Also, wouldn't Susanna want to?
Oh,
She's
shit.
kind of always paranoid.
22.
Yeah, Susanna.
Yeah,
as well.
Susanna.
So that's bias.
Oh,
my God.
shit.
That would
I'm
be
like, I rolled a
bias.
22, it's great! And then bias goes one better.
He never rolls good on insight. He's never rolled good on insight. Good God.
I never get to roll insight checks. I always kind of keep too quiet until it's too late.
Oh. That's a really good freaking roll, though, Amy. That's amazing.
Yeah. Come on, let's see Susanna's. Let's watch her beat us both.
Oh, God. I mean, even if she rolls a natural 20, she won't. Nope. Bias has a +5, she only has a 2.
Yep.
She is about as good at insight as Dayon is.
Yeah.
Well,
They are
anyway,
different.
Lena and Vias, you can see he is honest, sad and sort of pensive, but honest.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a little more reassuring. I just think he's a sad old man.
Yeah, that's
Literally all he is.
Yeah, and I think with what we can gather, I think Dana is going to suggest grabbing the papers to do with particularly the schematics of the rune tablet and.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Bias wants to keep this knowledge.
Well, also as well, if we can't do anything to fix the dragon, we can at least give the dragon the information to find someone else to fix her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which might persuade her not to, attack us. Now that we've done what she's asked.
Yeah.
Mochi, get your nose out of there. Sorry, my cats are being monsters.
So yeah, and I think on that note, we leave. I think Diana is going to take some time in the throne room to just do. They aren't quite proper last rites for the other party.
Yeah, we should probably check on them to see if any of them are alive.
Yeah. I doubt it.
Oh yeah.
I doubt it, but they might be.
Yeah, do a once over.
Do the courtesy, the once over.
Yeah, check they're not dead. Check they are dead, should I say, rifle through their pocket.
And if they are dead, Bias will load as many as he can on his shoulder and attempt a burial.
Yeah.
As you sort of poke around, Bixby is gone.
Good.
Riddance. Bye, buddy.
What a shame. Never mind.
You can see where his sort of stone chest has been cracked open and is like somewhat melted away, actually, and this like thick green ichor blood is just across the tile. He's gone.
Bias is going to pop out of wild shape and do the blood thing that he does. Taking the fire out.
Ask him anything?
Haven related lost rights.
Yep. It's honestly mostly for him and like hoping the dead cross over the way they are supposed to.
Young is also gone. They are sort of sprawled out on the floor, face up, and their bird is sort of like dead on the ground about 10 feet away. The other two, however, are breathing. Lensa and Kyo. Lensa is sort of sat up against the wall behind a pillar, unconscious, and Kyo is sprawled on the floor.
Vice
Yeah,
is
I
pumping
think
some
Dan
healing
is
light
kinda
into
gonna-
one of them.
Talia? Oh, yeah. Healing light, and I think Dan is kind of gonna. Talia, do you still have those potions we got?
I can take one of them. I'm good.
Heal one too. I'll give them a healing word.
2d6 to Lensa. That's
Okay.
Dan's healing
Well,
lights.
and Lena's going to take you and drop 5 points from lay on hands
Never mind then.
because that
Okay,
doesn't.
that spell slot.
No, that doesn't burn a spell slot. So
Yep. Ignore that healing word then.
Yeah. So I think.
They both come awake under your respective hands. Lensa sort of blinks slowly awake, and she's kind of looks a little bit groggy and a bit confused. Whereas Kyo sort of like jolts up and is like wide-eyed and looking around at like the ruins, and catches sight of Young, who is sprawled out on the floor on the.
Yeah.
oh dear.
I think Dan is gonna approach Kyo.
Did we lose our DM?
We lost our DM.
Oh no. Well, for the recording, Vias had done the rites on all of the dead bodies, so.
Yeah.
All right.
Meanwhile, I'm poking at my nano group on Discord, and I jest ye not. Somebody just typed in a 15-minute sprint 2,054 words.
Oh my
What
god.
the fuck?
I know.
What?
Sorry about that. Betsy's being dumb.
That's
Aw.
cool.
No worries.
Kyo sort of jolts awake, and she looks around in a panic before she catches sight of Young, and they just scream, in just grief and horror,
Yeah.
and they sort of try to scramble up and like make their way over in that direction, still sort of bleeding and disheveled, and you watch them just sort of collapse onto their knees next to their twin.
It's been more than.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been more than.
Yeah,
a minute.
it was. The fight started, at least like probably an hour ago at this point.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's nothing.
And you see the
Move
king just
the-
kind of the king sort of looks over, and he looks upset. He is.
He should be. He's the reason they died.
I
And
mean,
he-
to be fair, Bixby is also partially the reason they
Yes.
died.
He sort of glances down and he flexes his hand again, and again there's nothing in it. He just turns away.
He was a mage once.
Did you say that out loud?
No, that's me.
Mm-hmm.
Does Vias know why he's doing that?
Make an Arcana check.
Okay. Watch him be bad at this, even though he's good at Arcana. Oh my god!
Oh my god.
You
Jesus.
you recognize this in a second. You recognize the way he sort of is trying to flick his hand, and like some of the like he's obviously trying to call on some sort of healing or maybe even resurrection magic. But there is like no response whatsoever. And you can presume it's because his source of power is gone.
He's
His
probably
deity.
a cleric or something.
Technically his stat block is of a high priest.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And he has some magic. And by some magic, I mean he's a 10th level spellcaster,
in a challenge 9 enemy. You had 2 enemies to fight. Go fuck yourself.
Ah. I can't fucking fight now that his god's gone. Bye.
This is why we tried for the
Break the spell and leave it be.
Mm-hmm.
But we were prepared just in case.
I mean, I was moderately amazed that the talking thing actually worked.
Same. It's so rare when that actually happens.
I was gonna let you have it if you could get off the word illusion.
fortunately because of Mercy.
I freaking love Pact of the Chain Warlocks. It's so nifty. I didn't even know they had that.
Yeah, it is. Voice of the Chainmaster is one of the most useful.
And he's got, yeah, it's just very good.
Kyo is very upset, and you see Lensa as they sort of like come to their senses, like stand up and stumble in their direction. And she just puts a hand on Kyo's shoulder. And they stand there in silence. She stands there in silence for a minute, just next to Kyo.
I think Diana's going to make her way over and just I'm sorry.
Kyo is just distraught.
Yeah.
And Lensa just kind of nods. And looks over at the king, and there's just like a hardness in her eyes, but the king is just kind of looking in any other place in the throne room.
He's done. His Epoli is dead.
And I think a public
and his goddess with it.
I think a public trial would go a long way to making a lot of people feel better.
Bring their spirits peace.
Lensa just goes, can you give us a second, please?
Of course.
I think
trying
Dennis
to make sure the king leaves with us, so they don't just murder him immediately.
Fair.
I think we get out of the throne room and Diana just a lot of the sort of, because even when she was trying to be non-threatening, there was a nervous tension, and I think when she leaves the throne room, there's just this pause, and she sort of presses her back up against one of the pieces of masonry.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just shaking.
Talia also is just kind of like standing off by themselves.
Yeah.
Bias is going to grab onto Diona's arm and just give her some stability, I suppose.
Yeah.
A few minutes pass, 10, 20, and at some point Lensa and Kyo appear. Lensa sort of leading Kyo out and giving them some support. I keep changing all of their pronouns. I have no idea what anyone's pronouns are.
What am
It's fine.
Their pronouns are whatever the fuck they want at any given time.
Gender, who are they?
I keep changing both Kyo and Lensa's pronouns.
That's fine.
She, they, that's fine. And Lensa kind of nods and just goes, I think we need to go.
Yeah.
I'd say at some point as well during the last few minutes, Lena will have moved over to Talia, not to say anything, but just kind of to stand there and make sure she knows that they know that someone's watching their back.
Yeah.
Yeah, they sort of lean up into you. I think there's just sort of like they don't like grab for you or anything, but there's definitely sort of like the press into like the body heat and just
Yeah. Lena's just standing there and kind of providing support as best she can.
Fias is going to offer to Kyo and Lensa. We can carry them if you need. Get them properly buried. They don't need to stay here. In the city of ghosts.
Kyo just goes, I think this is where Bixby wants to be. And Lensa just goes, Kyo. And Kyo just sort of shakes their head. My sibling, maybe, but...
Okay.
At that, Vias is just going to turn on his heel, tap his staff once, and then wild shape into a wolf and go and get that motherfucker.
Yeah, I think Diana's gonna sort of straighten herself up and go to help.
You collect Young's body and start to make your way out of the city. And as you pass Nurendin, Lensa and Kyo have to take another minute. And it's all right. We saw him get thrown. It's fine.
Do you want us to bring him as well? Give him burial.
Lensa is already grabbing like a piece of like fabric from like what's left of like one of the shops and just sort of drapes it over Nurendin. And then just he'd want to be just left where he fell.
Okay.
Vias will continue on then.
Yeah.
And you make your way out of the city.
I think Diana actually does keep pace with Vias, and I think he does have one of her hands sort of in the ruff of fur, and just... She's not doing great.
Yeah, stability. He gets it. I think as they're leaving, he kind of pauses at the archway and will just give her a boop with his snoot. just let her like have a moment to hold the warm fur and stuff like that. Do what she needs to do to
pet a puppy.
Yeah. It's like dog day at campus.
Yeah.
Yes. It was dog day today, by the way. There were dogs.
Oh, jealous.
I'm eternally disappointed that's not the sort of shit that happens in British uni campuses.
It is sometimes a thing at Australian ones, but it doesn't seem to be a consistent thing. It only seems to happen occasionally.
So
I feel like I need to contact people that are still at the university and kind of be like, right, so have you heard of this thing called Dog Day?
But
Diana is also holding the crown.
Okay. You start to make your way into the jungle, and just as Lensa goes, wait. There is sort of a voice from the trees and goes, I see you've brought him to me.
We have. And Diana lets go of Vias and straightens herself up, and he can possibly hear a bit of a shaky gasp from as she's trying to... If you want to take the deck he owes you, it is your right. We also might have a way to undo what they did to you.
And we could offer to remove it.
As you start to speak, you see the large green just face of Cherval like peer out, like come out from the trees. long whiskers on either side of her face, like curled in like this, like in just what looks like excitement. And then you speak further, and as you get to the part about undoing what they did, her head sort of tilts, and she just kind of looks a bit curious.
I don't know much of the arcane, but they created this tablet that they
put
when
something
they
in me. Yes, I know.
Is it still an issue?
Yes, oh, of course it is. Why do you think the city's rubble?
Would you allow us to try and remove it? Epoli is dead, but it's not right.
She sort of looks over at she looks at the king and then at the crown in your hands.
Adona just throws it at her feet. Just throws it at Cheval's feet. Epoli is dead. Its goddess is no more.
She reaches out with like a paw, like one of the large, like clawed feet, and hooks the crown on the edge of the claw, and like brings it up to her eye level. And she just sort of examines it, and then looks back down at you. And I'm gonna need you to make a persuasion check at advantage.
Yes, come on, Diona! Fuck her up, come on.
Why are y'all letting Diana do the talking again?
Because you do better. It's like when we give PK the spokesperson role. She's very good with words, but the charisma of Susanna is not that high.
Oh. Yeah, this seems to be a trend I run into.
Yep.
I am farther at words than my characters are.
I feel that. It's the opposite for me. I'm bad at words, but my character... Ooh,
that's an 18.
She sort of looks down at you. And then you watch as she just crushes the crown in her hand. Her paw hand? What do dragons have?
Talons.
There you go.
Sure, talons. And she goes, "You think you could get it out of me?"
We would like to try, but we can give you the information that you can possibly find someone more able. If that is what you would prefer, we can give you with your permission, we would like to attempt.
And what do you want for it?
Leave the other villagers
To right an old wrong. To put right what was done to you however we can.
And she steps out from the trees, and then she sort of, in this space between the city and the jungle, she turns. So she is bearing her side to you. And she sort of lays down on the grass. And now you can see there is this jagged scar breaking up the scales on her left shoulder. And she just goes, "All right, see what you can do."
Oh shit.
Let's not fuck it up.
And it's sort of a look.
Maybe those with good medical training should try this.
That's sort of why pinging Vera too. Vera and Vias are the ones who actually have.
Vias has a 2, but it's not proficient.
She does have decent medicine, actually.
Yeah, so I think that's
Vera
sort of.
should try.
Okay.
We did bring
Vera
the documents with the dragon anatomy with.
Yeah, that's why we brought that, was to try and ease the.
Do I get advantage thanks to the?
You do.
Okay.
Yes.
Then I will at least take a look and see what I can figure out.
Yes.
Hey.
Yay!
What exactly are you doing?
Like, right now, I'm looking. I want to inspect I'm not like
see
cutting.
if we can get through the skull to actually get to. I think would be the.
Yeah, the scar tissue looks thick, but you can also see like the edges of the scales and where you could possibly like get in underneath them, like going in for at a diagonal.
Yeah.
But with the 23, you can also sort of underneath the thick scale, you can see a slightly raised section of skin, and you presume that's where it is.
Okay.
Mias will stand nearby, ready to cast healing if it's needed. So
All right
Yeah.
then. Then she'll.
if you fuck up, Vias will heal your mess.
Okay.
That's
We're gonna
comforting.
do surgery on a dragon,
Hey.
folks.
Maybe surgery on the dragon. Is this dexterity or?
This would be
Medicine.
medicine with your dexterity mod instead of intelligence or wisdom or whatever the fuck it is.
Oh no, is your dex really bad?
It might be worth actually asking Talia to
Yeah, it's not great.
help with this because Talia is very good with their hands and is very good with and has figured out some medical stuff. So it might be good to sort of direct Talia.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna let Talia cover this one.
Talia's got
You-
some special hands.
Vera can direct Talia too.
Yes.
I will admit, you go, "Hey Talia, come over here," and they like blink and they look very startled and confused.
Oh.
Oh.
Talia, it's okay. It's nearly over. It's just we're trying to help put right what was done.
They nod and they sort of walk up next to you, Vera, and they look a little bit like alarmed and confused. Like
It's
very
okay.
much the why are you asking me for this?
You're just my
I love
niece.
Josh's response. I have to say, I love Josh's response.
Oh no.
Hi. Sorry,
Hey,
I was
Josh.
watching
Oh,
YouTube
no.
videos and
We're doing
playing.
dragon surgery.
Yeah, you're just in time for the dragon surgery.
It's like
Why
operation,
are
but
we
with
doing
dragons.
dragon surgery? How did we get to dragon surgery in like an hour?
We found a magic tablet.
Well, okay. So we found out how Epoli forced the dragon to stay and how Epoli forced the dragon to not be able to attack.
The city.
This was done through a rune tablet that got pushed under the skin on her shoulder. We are trying to remove it because y'all are letting Diana lead, and Diana wants to right the wrong that was done as much as possible.
Did we kill a god yet?
The god's dead. She's gone.
Kind of.
We disbelieved
kill
her
the
out
old
of
man?
existence.
No, the
No,
old
we
man
did
is
not kill the
alive,
old man.
actively with you.
The old man is alive, but he is powerless now.
Yeah.
Is he out of the illusion?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
We're just
God
taking him
damn
to
it.
the other Yuantis.
Yeah, no, it's a good thing because Parker let some of the stats slip, and yeah, that would have been a
That
bad
would have been a
fight.
level 10 high priest. So
He was a level 10 caster.
yeah.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a god.
Amy, the clarification on that is to hopefully give the dragon the freedom to do what she likes.
Yeah, I know what it
Consider-
is. I know what it is.
Yeah.
I'm just winding up PK.
Ah, okay.
Why do we want
I
the
just-
dragon to attack the ruins of Epoli?
We don't anymore.
We don't. I'm
She
just
has
winding
the
up
goddamn
PK.
right to.
Dragon. Okay.
Chevelle
I'm
has
caught
the
up, let's
goddamn
go.
right to attack Epoli after what they did
That's
to her.
fair.
Talia is going to do dragon surgery.
Talia and Vera are doing dragon surgery.
We're doing
This
dragon
is fine.
surgery.
The name of this episode is fucking dragon surgery, you bitches.
Guidance to Talia.
Thank you.
You get one
Well,
or
since
whatever.
they are going from Vera directing them, and would they also have advantage on the roll?
Yeah, I was gonna give advantage.
Yes.
Okay.
I need you to be my hands here. I'm not what I once was.
If they were verbal, I think their response would be, "Do you normally do surgery on dragons?"
Amazing.
I think that's the facial expression they got.
We're just getting better
Yeah,
at reading Talia.
I know this isn't normal, but right now I think I trust your hands a lot more than mine.
They nod, and under your instruction, I guess I'm gonna roll.
Do it.
What was that?
Oh my god. That would have been very bad.
Okay. Much better.
Fuck.
22 is
That
much
was
better.
so close to being very bad.
Oof.
Yeah.
Although that
yeah.
22 is lovely.
Yes, very good.
As Talia kind of takes their knife and starts to sort of cut into the skin where you watch, Traval's head sort of turns around, and you're working now underneath her gaze. And Talia is kind of like, the fuck the whole time.
Talia, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay.
You're doing great.
And you
And I think Diana's sort of gonna step to be between. Because this was her idea, and she is willing to suffer the consequences if something goes wrong.
Fair.
Yeah. Lena's stepping up as well to kind of offer a show of support.
You can feel sort of Cherval shift underneath you as like as it goes on, and there's obviously pain, but she mostly stays fairly still.
Yeah.
And you manage, Talia and Vera together manage to unearth. Not unearth? Is that the word that
Excavate.
I don't think that's the word you want in this
Remove?
instance,
It's
but I'm
certainly
not sure
a
what
word.
word you do.
Remove. Let's go with remove.
Disassemble your dragon.
Remove a stone tablet, roughly about 2 by 4 feet.
Jesus.
I mean, it is a very big dragon.
Yes.
Yeah, but also, oh,
and you can see like the glowing like etched runes in this stone that is also covered in blood.
Bias is going to cast a first level cure wounds on the dragon.
The dragon sort of huffs a little bit. You get the sense kind of laughter as you
There
give
you go.
if you give it a first level cure wounds after surgery.
Yep.
it's what he has access to, and it was pretty potent. And it probably healed up better this time.
Yeah, no
it
scar,
does
maybe.
actually a little bit. But as soon as it's out, Cherval kind of, and you get this cure wounds off, sort of like shakes her shoulder, and you get Vera and Talia very much get the message of, this is where you get off of me now.
Yep, backing up.
Back the hell up.
And she stands up, and you see her sort of test the leg and the shoulder, and just there's a little bit of a wince, but you did just do surgery on a dragon.
Woo!
It's kind of acceptable.
Yeah.
And
it's honestly probably better than having a dirty great big chunk of rock.
Yeah.
That's one big splinter.
It is now on the floor, by the way.
What is it?
Dylan pokes it with his quarterstaff.
It does nothing.
I wonder if that's worth anything.
I want to ask one more question, if you will permit me. There was a young man who we were asked to look for, who made his way into the jungle.
His name was Max.
And she takes off and flies up into the air and then off into the trees and down.
Okay, I'm not sure what that means.
I think that means he's dead.
I hope he's not dead.
I'm kind of with Dylan.
Poor bastard.
Uh,
Oh, I can't wild shape
remember
anymore.
though, she used to be fond of people before what they did to her. Maybe.
So maybe he's like her human pet?
Vias is gonna send Mercy after her. Just curious.
Make a perception check at disadvantage and then subtract roll.
Oh.
Disadvantage is 17 minus what?
4, so that would be 13. You have no fucking idea where this dragon went.
Alright, that's fine.
You were
Okay.
like, let me sit here for like 3 minutes and then send Mercy off.
Well, I didn't know. Whatever. It's fine.
I think the intent was sort of to do it after,
Yeah.
directly after Cheval left.
She's gone.
Yeah.
Even with a 20, she's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's in her element. We can't really do much. So.
And I think Diana's just gonna get a damp cloth and just. She knows Vera has prestidigitation, but there's just a part of her that needs the action of. So just trying to get the dragon blood off Talia's.
Yeah.
Talia appreciates it.
Yeah.
Lena's gonna go over and
kind of a bit of a thank you for that, Tals. It was.
They nod.
If I didn't think it was.
They nod, and you notice the blood is very thick and very warm.
Yeah, and I think there might just be a pause. And Talia, can you hold still for a moment? I'm gonna clean you off the. Do you remember the trick I can do with making water fall?
They nod.
Oh my god.
no shower.
Are you okay with me doing that?
They nod.
Yeah, and she's just gonna try and
Talia's very much at a point of sure, this might as
Vice has got a blanket
she's gonna
ready.
Try and get the worst of it off with a very short, warm, create water shower. Basically, trying to focus it as much on Talia and Vera as possible. To just try and get some of the worst of the.
We're getting hosed
everything else can kind of be handled with prestidigitation.
Yeah, it's fine. It works. Let you have it. I think as you do this, Dylan and Vias, you look over and Lisa is kind of looking at all of you, especially Lena and Talia, in a mixture of fear and awe and confusion.
Vias just gives a thumbs up and grins widely at them. Cool, right? We're pretty damn awesome, right?
Yes. Yes, you certainly are. That is a word you could use.
Y'all are letting Diana lead, and that means putting up with some of her
shenanigans.
Hey, it works.
Quirks.
Right?
Better her than Dylan.
Right?
Surgery on a dragon?
Look, it was. Even if it was rendered kind of inert by Epoli being dead, it was still something that had been done to her that we could maybe try to fix.
Speaking of, does anyone need that tablet, or does anyone mind if I take the warhammer to it?
Go for it. I don't.
Frankly, I think taking the warhammer to it is. The only thing I'd been going to do was offer it to Cheval if she wanted to destroy it. I figured she had first right.
Marvelous.
Because we maybe could sell it,
if you
but I
want to
don't
take the
think
warhammer
it would
to
be
it,
good
I will
to...
not object.
Lena's taking the warhammer to it.
Go for it.
Make a strength check.
Come on, Lena. Fuck it up. Yeah.
18.
Cool. You bring
Lena
the hammer.
is using a magic weapon.
Excellent. You bring the hammer down. Please make me a Constitution check.
Oh,
Saving
no.
throw.
Gladly.
Fortunately, you do have the bonus to that.
Which is.
Oh, no.
Which is.
Oh.
Isn't it already included? It looks like it's already
Yeah,
included.
that is already included.
Take 14 points of lightning damage
Happily.
as the magic cracks sparkles, and you do manage to break it, but it does get you pretty damn good with what basically amounts to magic lightning.
Yeah, no, Lena is perfectly happy with that. Her hair's kind of standing ever so faintly on end, her eyes are wide, and she's like, well, that went well.
Bias will walk over and cast a second level healing or what
I mean, she's
Cure
fine. She was on full health anyway.
Oh,
It's good.
Yeah.
Still. He'd still fucking do it because him like that.
Dylan's gonna do a good old detect magic.
There you go.
Okay.
You get 14 back entirely.
Hey.
Yay.
Thanks, Bias.
And anything on the good old magic radar?
The tablet is inert. It's gone.
Okay, that's mostly what I was looking for.
However, there is, and you can see the sparkle from the various magic items you have picked up. However, there is an extra one that you are not expecting.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Where is it?
As you look for it and you notice it is the box containing the signet rings of Epoli.
Hello?
Dylan doesn't give any explanation, just kind of walks over there.
Zoella's currently holding it.
Oh, Dylan walks up to Zoella and is like, "Can I see that box for a second?"
What a second. I think
The-
Yeah, I think that might be.
Does Dylan get handed the box?
I think so.
Yeah. I don't see
Okay.
why Zoella wouldn't.
Yeah.
Dylan takes the box. So is it the box itself or something inside it that is pinging? And what school of magic, please?
It is the inside. It's something inside. In fact, 9 little plips.
Ooh.
And then I would say,
Oh my god,
I
are
need
these
to-
special rings?
I need to check exactly. It would be evocation.
Ooh. So
Are-
Dylan holds up the box and it's like, "Hey guys, there's like 9 magic things in here."
Magically
Well, that's
how?
Like, oh god, the one that you makes fire.
Okay.
He said there were 9 rings, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's 9. I can count to 9.
Vice is gonna look at the king and ask him, so what's up with that?
I don't know. The families were by the time I was left.
Are they cursed?
I don't know.
Dylan opens the box.
I mean, you opened the box before. All 9 rings are just kind of there. They're fine.
Dylan takes one of the rings out and puts it on.
Vice is gonna slap your hand if you're putting it on your finger.
Yeah, you're gonna have to stop me.
Fucking try.
Make
Oh.
make contested dexterity checks. Both of you roll a dex check.
Oh.
14.
Oh man.
Ah! Vice is gonna lift
Oh.
up his finger and point it at you and just say, "What did we say about doing things with dangerous objects? Stop
Dylan
touching
tries
things.
to put on another ring.
Fucking A, let's do this
my
together.
God.
You...
Dylan.
Stop it. God damn it.
Yeah.
What happens to our bastard?
You put the ring on. Nothing happens.
It's fine.
Can Vias attempt to pull it off of him?
You can try.
Jesus Christ.
Make a strength check, Vias,
Jesus
and either make an athletics check, Vias, and then Dylan and acrobatics or athletics. I'm treating it like a
He's
grapple check.
really bad at
Fuck.
athletics. Oh, hey, I thought it was the opposite. Never mind.
It's fine. Please roll athletics.
So you managed to get the ring off. Is that what you're saying?
I guess so.
Yes, you do. You basically managed to tackle Dylan to the ground.
Vias is literally going to sit on him.
What
Take
the
the rings
fuck,
away.
Vias?
Don't put on rings like this.
It was fine.
Maybe it won't be in 30 minutes when it
I've
kills
survived-
you.
I've survived rings, Vias. I can survive these.
They're magical.
Oh no, that's very unfortunate from Dylan from an abusive marriage. Anyway.
Yeah,
See?
Vias doesn't know about the abuse.
Vias
He
do-
just knows that it's bad.
Nobody
Something
knows
happened.
about it.
Yeah.
You think Dylan's telling anybody? No, Dylan's not even gonna tell his therapist.
What therapist?
Dylan has a
Yeah.
therapist?
When Dylan gets a therapist, he's only going to talk about how apples turn into dirt. That's
I mean, I
God.
actually have a therapist NPC in mind that I could toss at y'all fuckers.
Don't.
Anyway.
They won't be able to handle it.
Yeah.
Are you
I'm pretty sure we can't afford that shit.
No. Fantasy.
yeah,
no.
therapy's expensive. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, if you're paying in money.
God.
What else do you pay in?
Your service?
What else do you pay in?
Well,
Goods could be true.
You could be
goods and
traded for
services.
goods and services.
Oh.
Oh my God.
Anyway, what's
Vias
Vias is
is
currently
taking
sat
away the
on
rings,
Dylan.
and he's snapping the box shut, and he's gonna poke him
Yeah.
in the nose and just say, "Don't do that with magical items. Let's identify these until we can tell if they've been cursed or what it is they do."
Oh, I have an identify thing.
Well, that would have been a good thing to do the first place, so you don't end up cursed. Please,
I
for my
mean-
sanity, please do that, Dylan.
I
Oh my
don't think I
God.
can get any worse than my current situation.
What, do you
Dylan?
think I'm a bad
Say that.
situation? He puts his hands on his hips.
That is not what I am saying.
It sure sounds like that from here.
I meant like, emotionally.
You know that's fair. Well, he's going
Oh,
to
God.
stand the hell up and take the box and just hold on to it. Make sure, like, tucked under his arm. Very cautious.
So you're not letting Dylan cast Identify?
He can, but he's gonna wait until he's got the spell prepared for it.
Listen, I always have identify if I do it as a ritual. It just takes 11 minutes.
Well, do we want to take a short break here? I don't think the dragon's coming back for us.
I think that would be
It might be. And I don't think she means us any harm, so it might be worth.
Well, we
Figuring
did just
out.
free her, so
Yeah, might as well, I guess.
let's take a damn short break. Dylan,
So yeah, I guess Dylan is identifying the.
here
Okay.
you go.
Parker, I have a question first before I start doing this thing. Do I have to cast identify on each individual ring?
You certainly can if you want to. Or you can just do one.
Okay.
Are they all the same?
They have slight differences in their etching, but they all seem to give off the same magical signature.
So one should do it.
Okay, so I'll do. How about since we're taking a short rest, I'll do 2 rings, so that's 22 minutes, and if they're both the same, I won't do any more.
That sounds good.
Okay.
It's reasonable.
Mhm. Good job.
So you cast Identify on the first ring.
Yes. I've got
And
my book out.
the information you received, it is an enchanted item that requires attunement, and it allows you basically to send to cast the message cantrip to and from anyone wearing any of the other rings within 500 feet.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
Dylan shares that
Alright.
information. Not
yeah.
in the same words, but he shares it.
Which means I think there is a okay, which I think means we want to keep these.
Yeah.
Yep, these are not getting sold. Holy crap.
So
Dylan,
DM, what are
can
the
Dylan put one?
animals on them?
Okay, there is a
Because at this point it's aesthetic. At this point
Yeah.
it's down to
Yeah.
there is a jungle cat, probably a jaguar of some sort, a snake, a bird, a crab. There is a monkey sort of shaped creature. There's a fish. Where's my list of things? There's one that looks like an insect, like a beetle or something. One that looks like a frog. One that looks more like a spider. And then there is one that looks kind of like a furred rodent.
Interesting.
Can I have the bird?
I mean, unless Zoella wants it, she is a bird.
Okay, but I also like serve a bird goddess, so
Oh shit, that's 10
I think-
animals. There's no spider. Fuck.
Can you post the list? Oh, there we
yeah,
go.
I just did. Amy just did.
what kind of bird?
It's just like a carved bird. You can't really tell what kind it is, but if you had to make a guess, it would be probably some sort of macaw, like it's like a jungle bird, like a
Oh.
tropical bird.
Would
Yeah.
it look similar enough to a raven to confuse Dylan?
Yes.
Sweet.
I mean, Vias would be fine with a snake. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I think Diana's gonna actually suggest the jungle cat for Talia.
Yes.
I think Vera would take the beetle.
See, Lena was going to go for beetle, but
Oh,
is
you can
happy
have
to
the
take
beetle
Do
then.
it.
because she's thinking it's probably the one that looks most like the sun.
Yeah, go ahead.
Ooh.
Then she'll take the crab instead.
Hell yeah.
Cool. So
Is anyone taking the snake?
I think Vias is thinking about taking the
Oh
snake.
yeah, okay.
So.
I'm just making sure.
oh
Yeah, I figured PK. I figured Susanna would want the snake.
Okay.
That's why
Susanna
I asked.
can go for snake. That's cool.
I mean, it's pretty obvious which one Diana's gonna end up with. Let's.
I mean, Vias would be fine with like the rodent one. I think.
Yeah.
Diana needs the fish.
Yeah, I figured Diana was gonna get given the fish. She's not gonna claim one, but she would sort of offer the jungle cat to Talia.
They would take it and just kind of hold it in their hands awkwardly, like they don't know what to do with it.
Talia.
Okay.
Talia, do you know how rings work? Do you know what a ring is?
They nod.
Okay, have you ever put one on before?
Oh my goodness. Vias
They
just
shake
thinks
their
twice.
head.
Okay, so can I like touch your hand and the ring and show you?
They nod again.
Okay. Dylan takes Talia's right hand and kind of just slowly slides the ring onto their ring finger and is like, see, like that.
Oh my god! I think Iona sees this, and you just see her. You just hear her start wheezing as she's.
Talia
And
nods.
she just partially loses it.
Talia nods and just like, okay.
Now you are wearing a ring.
They nod again, but there's time to look like, yes, thank you. I realized.
So, there's Frog and Monkey left for Zoella to take pick of.
Frog.
Yeah, I think Frog
Yeah,
might
frog.
Okay, I'll edit that in.
be.
God damn it. I'm a bastard who has bad eyes. Quiet. Diona na na na.
Diona na na na. Half of my heart belongs to Diona na na na.
She's my wife.
Also, by the way, I'm amazed that worked. Like, this entire thing.
We're
I'm
lucky
amazed
that
that
really
this worked.
shouldn't.
This is what we are. Okay, I should probably stop recording.
Okay,